Welcome again to another episode of Tangents and Train... Oh, wait a minute. You Made That, the podcast about makers making of the things that we make. And, well, usually, until we get off onto a tangent or a train wreck. Our conductors this evening are Mike DeLauder, Bob Blanford, and Rebecca DeGroot.
Choo-choo.
Hola.
Just remember, I think I can. So what's everybody been up to?
Ooh, I have a long list this time. I felt like I needed to make up for the last time.
Yeah.
So I'll start if you guys don't mind.
Not at all.
So I said that I was actually going to do things in the last episode, and I think I said that I was going to make an ornament for the Turner's Warehouse thing. Right? Mm-hmm. Did I say I was going to do that? Because I did it, and I was like, yeah, pretty sure that's what I said I was going to do, so I'll check that off my mental list. So I made an ornament. It was the first one of the year, and I sent it off. And it's on its way, and hopefully it makes it there by the deadline. We shall see, because the deadline is tomorrow.
That's cutting it close.
To cut it close. All right. But in preparation to make that ornament, on Tuesday, if we did 8 hours of staff development, in addition to our normal hours of teaching, we would be able to not come into work on Tuesday for election day because our school was supposed to be a polling location. So we were supposed to have the day technically off, but we already did the 8 hours. So we just kind of worked ahead of time. Anyways, people keep giving me garbage about like, oh, I didn't know teachers got a day off on election day. I didn't think it was a holiday. I was like, it's not a holiday. I did extra work to earn this, so you can just shove it. But I was not happy with the people that were giving me issues. Like, I worked more on top of the more that I'm already doing. Anyways.
So Rebecca, tell me how you feel about that.
So they can just calm down, and I will too, maybe. So on Tuesday, I was like, I'm going to do a day just for me. I'm not going to worry about school. I'm not going to plan anything for school. I'm coming in on Monday, doing Monday, and then I'm out on Tuesday. I'm not going to worry about it. So early enough in the morning, I got into the lathe room, and I'm like, what am I going to turn? I want to turn something. It's been forever. So I was like, well, I've still got a bunch of maple finial blanks, and I haven't done a finial in a while. And it's right around that season, so let's do a finial. And I started, and I'm just like, oh my god, I miss this so much. So I got going, and I ended up making, I think, 5 or 6 sets. So it's the icicle finial at the bottom and the topper finial. And it was just a very therapeutic day of just finial turning and dyeing them, and I posted a couple of the pictures and a video. I did a video of the full process, and then I did another one that's just the time lapse. So I'm actually going to be editing and probably doing a voiceover over the full wood turning process of the finial. I think I did the bottom and the top in that video. So I'll do a voiceover on that, and then I'll actually get it put out. But then I think I also want to do some more videos of the specific cuts that have to be done to make these finials, because yeah, I can explain, well, you're gonna make this cut here and you're gonna do this there and then work your way up the body of the finial and then all that, but not everybody understands like how to make a V-cut and how to make a bead and how to make a cove consistently on something that has an unsupported end. So I think I'm gonna do that full length video, but then I'm also gonna do little separate videos to sort of go over the mini processes within that video.
Question for you. Finials, everybody knows that finials have multiple uses. Would you like to go over one of the many additional uses that a finial has besides an ornament?
Is it stabbing people?
Well, that's one.
Stabbing people that challenge my day off.
The other one involves a game of strategy.
Oh my god.
But then that's where the stabbing people might have come in, because you got so upset over the game of strategy that.
So on my post of all of my finials standing on the board, getting ready for the finish, I had about 75 comments. And probably at least 30 of those comments are, wow, that should be a really cool chess set, or can I buy this chess set, or how do I get one of these chess sets? I was like, it's not a chess set. So then I did a follow-up post with the same picture on Facebook, and I just labeled it not a chess set. And still, people were like, but it would make a really cool chess set. I was like, oh my God. So now, I don't know if I'm like really against the idea of making a chess set, or enough people have said that would make a really cool chess set that I'll make one and just really jack the price up. Because how many pieces is it? 30?
32
36?
Maybe? 8,
No,
96,
32?
32 pieces, yeah.
Yeah, 32 pieces.
32 pieces. So 16 of those would have to be identical for the pawns, and then sets of 4 and 2 for everything else. I don't like repetitive work. That's the whole point of me turning finials and making every single one of them different. It's like, if I even do 2 of them that are the same back to back, I get bored. So making 16 of the same thing would drive me absolutely crazy. So
you do it with legs, though. I mean, really.
Imagine how. Okay, so 32 times 3. What's that? 96.
Ooh, a walking chess set. Yes.
So I'd have to make 96 legs.
Rebecca, I'm thinking $25,000. I mean, it's not somebody. I mean,
that's what it's going to have to be.
I do have a serious question for you, though. I watched one of your, I don't remember if it was on Instagram or Facebook or what, where you had just finished turning a finial. I think it was on Instagram, and you put like an ebonizing finish on there. You were using hard maple, which doesn't have a lot of tannins in it. So was that like just that steel wool and a vinegar or something that was doing that was made? What did you use to make it that black? Because it was beautiful.
Thank you. I actually just use trans tint dye, and it's like
the
black dye straight out of the bottle. And a lot of people dilute it, and it just doesn't go on as nicely. It turns out almost splotchy. But if you use it just straight out of the bottle, and then I actually take my finger and just kind of like burnish just with my finger after the fact, and it works really well. Yeah. And then I just do a spray lacquer over that.
I was kind of.
What's your finger look like?
Huh?
What does your finger look like after burnishing that?
Well, 2 of my fingernails are still gross.
The thing is, I literally thought, how people will take vinegar and they'll put steel wool or nails in it. And when I first watched it, I thought, oh, she's just ebonizing it using a solution of steel wool and whatever. And then later on, I something clicked. I had walked. This was an hour and a half later, and I remembered reading or something, or you saying it. I don't remember about maple. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, hard maple does not have tannins, and it is not going to take that well. So that's why I was curious, and because it was a really nice effect, and the black was just so devoid of color. It was really beautiful, and I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. And I really do like the black finials because they just make the color of my board meat pop. And I actually just got a custom order for 3 ornaments, but he's doing, I think he said a Scandinavian theme where it's all red and white. And he wants the finials to be really, really white. So I'm going to play with some white dyes. And then I might just end up going right back to white acrylic paint. But I would need to be able to find a finish to go over the paint that's not going to yellow the white over time. So I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be, or if I could just find a really good paint that won't need a finish over top. But I think it's a good time to experiment, especially coming up.
Kills.
I'm going to have,
Kills.
KILZ. You use it like if you have like water damage on your walls, and it will cover everything really well. It won't bleed through. I'm just wondering though, and this is just a question off the cuff. Obviously, you're gonna want to paint them white, but if you want to see the natural wood grain, why not just go with like a holly and a red heart or something like that? And with that, are they too soft?
Holly. I just don't have it.
Oh, okay.
Can you get holly that large? For a finial blank, can you get it that large?
I think so.
I think so.
I mean, you're using
I've seen a lot of pieces
like a pen
of
blank.
large holly.
You're using like a 5-inch pin blank, right? Is what you're using for your turning your finials?
Usually closer to like 8 inches.
Gotcha. The tricky part is getting really white holly.
And I know there's that the 2-stage or the two-part bleaching solution that you can put on wood.
Yeah, that doesn't work real well.
I don't know. I'll ask around.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I might just end up dyeing it with an interesting dye, and then the wood grain might show through a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to experiment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know there's a alcohol-based white dye, Spirit Stain, I think is the brand. I could be off on that. I've got it, but I've never used it. Another one of those things that, yeah. I have that blue. Well, I have the basic colors. You have blue, yellow, red. So, yeah. Get another thing I invested in and never used. I take it back. I've used the blue dye.
I have never done that. I've never invested in anything that never. I use everything that I buy. I might use it for a dust collector, collecting dust on the bench, but it has a purpose, right?
Dust collector, paperweight. That would be my house.
Well, it's definitely my storage room because I'm dying right now. For those of you who don't know, I talked about this in the what is it?
Let's call it the pre-show.
Yeah,
let's make it really
so
interesting.
Much more official. Talked about this during the pre-show. Why I'm so sniffly and congested sounding today is because we decided that today, and this is going to be just one more reason for people to be upset at me. Today was going to be the day that we put up our Christmas trees. So we went into the storage room and we brought it all down, but Henry wasn't ready to get started yet. So I decided to stay in the storage room and start cleaning and organizing because, we don't use our garage. So we have so much stuff that's just like seasonal things. And we're trying to pare down on the amount of things that we have. But I mean, we'll use it eventually. We'll use those things some year in the future. But, I'm trying to cut back. I've got a couple big boxes of clothes that I'm sending off to Goodwill now and like a ton of garbage. Do you save your extra boxes for the things that you buy? Like when you buy a thing, do you keep the box?
If it's a nice size, but there are 2 size boxes that I keep. I keep small boxes because you can ship small things in them. And then I keep kind of an intermediate size box, but 90% of those boxes get used for wood cutoffs and scraps, and then they get set into the fire pit, and I just light the box on fire and burn the scraps, right? So I kind of do, but the big stuff, if it's a huge box, I may cut a side out of it because it's nice to have cardboard for, paint overspray and stuff if you're painting, but I don't keep a lot of the box. Yeah, or making dinosaurs, yeah. We all do that, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
And I know
so
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we have just like a room that's just full of empty boxes that we've saved over the past few years.
Build a box fort. Dude, you and Henry need to build a box fort.
I'm so over boxes. There's just towers of boxes. I'm like, no, we need to throw all of them away. We're going to cut them all up. We're going to put all the boxes inside another box, and then we're going to throw it in the garbage.
I'm telling you what, you got those 2 cute little kiddos that live either next door or right down the street from you. You take all those boxes outside, stack them up, put a little duct tape on them together, cut a door into one, couple of windows. You will have just made their year. COVID will have not existed for them because they will have a box fort and say, guys, take all these home, and they'll carry them all to their house. Problem solved. Your house is clean. Boom. See, and you made somebody happy. It's perfect.
Either that or they'll attract every cat in a 10-mile radius.
Well, about 8 of those cats are at the neighbor's house. So
oh, that's right. Your
they're
kittens.
Already there.
We have not had a kitten update. Attic kitten update.
Well, I mean, they're not our kittens, so we don't get updated as often, but every once in a while we'll see them outside now that they're big enough, so they'll kind of like wander around and come into our yard. Yeah. There's 2 black cats, though, that aren't kittens. They're some of the adults, and one of them, I was thinking that the one that was on the ground was one of their cats, and it comes up to our porch, it looks like it wants to get pet, and I've pet it a couple times, and I just got home one day a couple weeks ago, and I go and pet this cat that's sitting in our yard, and then all of a sudden I hear something above me, and there's another black cat in the tree. And then you know how these animals, like predator type animals, they'll just completely hone all of their attention in on the thing that they're stalking. This cat, like, I was because it just like fully focused, and so I'm just like poking the cat like, hey, you okay? And it was not okay. It was like stalking this thing. It ended up jumping into the tree and like attacking the other cat. These cats are crazy. We need some cat control in our neighborhood. But we used to have like a pack of wild dogs. Maybe not wild, but like abandoned dogs that would run around our neighborhood too. We didn't have as many cats at the time. Yeah.
Interesting.
Now the dogs are gone and the cats are spreading out.
Do your neighbors keep all 8 of those cats in their home, or do they leave them outside?
Nope.
No. Okay.
They leave them outside, and they just leave food for them to eat. So I think that's why they're just cats everywhere.
The reason why I asked is the first of many tangents tonight.
Here we go.
Are you sure this is the first?
Maybe not, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell a quick story. I had a buddy that I worked with, and his wife, she was an animal lover. I mean, she could not stand to see an animal suffer, especially cats. And at one time, I went to their house, and I was picking up something. I don't know what it was. He had something I was borrowing or whatever. 32 cats in the house. 32. She was trying.
You went in the house?
I went in the house. Yes, and I was, well, you know, not too bad. I didn't really notice it.
Oh.
She evidently took very good care of them, because I was like, dude, how many cats you guys got? I'm looking around. There's cats on the stairs, I mean, they're everywhere. And he goes, well, my wife has 32 cats right now. And I'm like, what the heck? He said, well, she cannot stand to see a cat suffer. You know, she will take it, and she's always looking for homes for them, trying to place them into good homes. But this is just something that she enjoys doing. And, you know, which more power to her. That's a little much for me. And he said that they've had more than that at times. So, yeah.
I would just like to point out that from what I understand, to properly care for cats and to make sure that there's enough facilities for them to use, you're supposed to have one more litter box.
Really?
That you have cats. So if they've got 32 cats, they've got 33 litter boxes.
I have no idea what they had, because I walked into I'm going to call it the entryway, and there was a little stairwell, and then there was a living room off to the left, and we stepped to the right and went out into his garage and got whatever I was there for. So, and then he raised the garage, and I went out that way. So, but yeah, I have no idea. But like I said, Rebecca asked about the smell. I did not smell. And they were, I mean, she took care of them. She vetted them. She took them to the vet. Now, she didn't do like spay, neuter, that type of thing, because, you know, I'm sure that cost a fortune. But the cats all got checked out to make sure that they didn't have, I guess, worms or whatever before she introduced them to her other cats. And then she would hang on to them and try to find them homes.
Seems like a nice lady.
She evidently was a very nice lady. I only met her once, you know, but yeah. So I have no problem with people who love animals. I you know, yeah. You can always animals are just so wonderful. You know, I love mine, and I only have 2, but
they are.
All right. Well, I'm going to pull this train back onto the tracks here.
Good luck.
What have you guys been working on, though?
see what Bob's been working on.
Well,
hey, I was going to bring it back.
Okay.
Just in a very roundabout way.
Bob has been extremely busy, but not with what you might think. I took the day off work Friday. I had it on the calendar. I had the last couple of Fridays on the calendar, and I've had to work because of a big project, but it was 70-something degrees. And I went ahead and talked to my boss. I took off, and I spent the entire day washing my car and just, I mean, detailing the living daylights out of it. And it was
getting
wonderful.
Ready for winter.
Well, you know, just with everything I had been going through with moving back and forth to Louisville, I have not had a chance to really properly care for it. And, you know, you need to take care of your stuff. You pay too much for it not to. But anyway, that's another story. I don't want to get off on a tangent. You know me.
Yeah.
But
stick to the topic, Bob. That's what we call
it. I laser focus. I'm like one of those predator cats that's just focused on something. I just boom.
Get it.
But
squirrel.
My wife had been talking to me for a while. We have a stove and it has two ovens, one on top, one on the bottom. And somewhere along the lines, something had gotten spilled down the front of the oven and got into both of the doors between the glass. There's outer glass and inner glass in there. And it's been driving her nuts. So I took the time today to disassemble the front of the oven and remove both doors and separate them very carefully because obviously, you've got insulation, all kinds of stuff in there, so that she could clean between the two doors. And that took a couple of hours. And then you guys Rebecca didn't want you to hate her for thinking about putting her Christmas tree up. Go ahead and hate me because I put mine up today. And I'm proud of it. This has been a screwy year, and my wife and I were talking. We just need something. For us, Christmas time is when the house looks its best. We clean, we put up the tree. It's nice to have those lights on in the evening, and so we went for it. So, and
it gives off all the good feels.
It does. And I actually was in the shop this week. I actually went out to the shop today, and I have a buddy who had contacted me a while back. I don't normally do pins for hire, but this one guy, he's a good guy. I owe him a couple of favors, and he's got a future daughter-in-law. His son is engaged, and she plays violin at like a Philharmonic level. She plays for wherever they live, and I don't remember where it's at. He told me, I'm sure, but she plays for this big orchestra there, right? Violin. So he wanted me to make her an ink pen, and I thought he was going to get me a picture of her personal violin, but he just sent me some stock photo, I think. I don't know, maybe it was hers, but I sent it off to Michael, and he made a blank for me, and I turned it today, and all that's left really was to polish and press the pen together. But I'm holding off on that for just a little bit, and we'll get back to that, and I'll ship it off to him for her Christmas gift. So it's just, something I'm doing just to help a buddy out. And lately, it's been weird. I don't know about you guys, but I have been asked about a dozen times, people wanting me to take commissions for regular ink pens as well as bespoke fountain pens, and I've been turning them down. I don't want them. I've number one, I really want it to be just a hobby for me. It's a way that I need to go out and unwind. And number two, I didn't even want to go in the shop today and turn this pen. I have a serious aversion to my shop right now, and I don't want to be out there. There's something about it that I just am not wanting to spend time in the shop. So I'm hoping that I've got a couple weeks off at Thanksgiving. I'm hoping that that'll be the time things change. I think I'm going to go out there and try to clean, and I've got a few projects where I was organizing the tools into workstations, things like that I want to kind of get back to. But I'm just, I've got no interest right now in being in the shop. And so I'm just working through that, and I think I'll get through it. But so I had a very productive week, worked on a lot of things, but no videos coming anytime soon from Bob. Sorry, guys.
No problem with that.
I might be able to forgive you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Eventually, well, hey, don't hate me. Hate the tree, right? I hate the tree I put up, right?
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game.
No, I'm
That's
determined
right.
to get mine up. We are getting ours up before the end of the night.
Oh yeah, it's. Yeah. You laugh. Well, what's planned for tonight is, and of course, I'm going to get off on another tangent, Michael, which is really unusual for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. This podcast we're recording, it's Sunday, and we'll probably end sometime between 7:30 and 8. We'll be done with the recording, and we already have a Christmas movie laying in on the TV on there. We're going to watch a Christmas movie tonight. We've already watched 3 of them. We've already watched 3 Christmas movies this weekend. So we are
has one
full
of them
on.
been Elf?
Well, yes, it was. We watched White Christmas, which is a tradition for us. We always watch that one first, and then we watched National Lampoon's Vacation and Elf. And tonight is A Christmas Story. So
Ooh.
Shitter's full.
Yep. So those are. And we probably have, no joke, 45 or 50 Christmas movies, and we'll start watching them usually Thanksgiving. We start watching them Thanksgiving night. But this year, everybody is just so down in the dumps. I mean, everything that's happened in the world, and just with we talked about it a couple of weeks ago with my mother passing. Everybody in our family is just really down in the dumps, and Christmas seems to just really make everybody feel better. So we thought, to heck with tradition this year. Let's put the tree up. Let's start the Christmas movies early. Let's just enjoy the heck out of it because, why not? What's it going to hurt? The year's already screwed up, right? So we're just having a good old time.
Yeah, and we usually wait until the day after Thanksgiving because, everybody throws a fit if you don't.
Yep.
But this year, we waited so long. I think it was like Christmas Eve, and we were putting the Christmas tree up just because I was slammed with work, and Henry was working, and it was just like crazy. And then it got up, and then it was Christmas, and then it was over. And then I left it up for way too long because I was like, I'm not missing out on this year. But now Christmas is over, so it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And, me growing up without Christmas, it's like, I want to experience that now. And I should be able to do it on my own timeline. And now this year, I want to make up for missing so much time last year. And then maybe I won't have the tree up till mid-February or, whenever it was that I took it down.
Years like this with the COVID make you realize that life is just too short. So just do whatever you want and enjoy yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just enjoy
things
it.
that make you happy.
Yeah. It's like things that make you go,
Yeah.
I wanted to take a step back, and kind of, God, I can't even think of how I want to say it. Go back to what Bob was talking about, about how this has been a strange year. But I would just like to take a moment in this part of the show to point out that this past week has been an extremely eventful, extremely momentous week. There was, some history made. And I just want to remind everybody that this history is that Rebecca made a chess set.
That's right. We ought to collaborate, Michael. You and I ought to get together and make a chess board. I'll make the dark pieces. You make the light pieces, and we'll mail them to Rebecca, and she can assemble them. Some assembly required. And
chess set, some assembly required.
Yeah. I like. I'm gonna take this down a notch. So, did you guys hear? I just right before the show, and this is true. I heard Alex Trebek passed. Did you hear
what?
that?
He did.
Alex Trebek passed. Yeah. He
passed late last night, surrounded by his family.
Man,
80 years old.
I tell you what, I watched Alex Trebek for years. I loved Jeopardy. I loved that show. Still do, but.
So is Jeopardy going to go on then?
Oh, I think so.
It probably will, but they haven't said anything about a next host. And I doubt that they will for probably at least a couple weeks out of respect to Alex.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But I hope that it goes on. At least, dedicate the show to him. It's his legacy, right? I mean, God, how many years did he do it? Like 25, 30 years? I mean,
forever.
He's done it since 84.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can watch Jeopardy episodes on Netflix, I think?
I did not know that.
And you can watch them on Hulu.
I love it.
I did not know
It's
that.
always been like a tradition at my mom's house that at 7 o'clock every night we'd watch Jeopardy.
I'll take Alex Trebek for 200, please.
There was one episode where one of the columns was all about MASH. And I was like, oh my God, I got this. I got every single one. And my family's just looking at me like, the hell?
Okay, Rebecca, you said a magic word there. I'm going to say this a little bit low in case my son is listening, but yesterday I went to what we're going to call a flea market, right? I was looking for record albums for my son who started collecting LPs. One of my other boys was with me and found the entire 11-season collection of MASH on DVD, and I bought it for one of my boys who loves MASH. So I have the entire series on DVD. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It was perfect. I guess somebody bought it. I don't know if they watched it. Some of them are still in the plastic. Yeah, and they're like 3, 4. Some of them have 5 DVDs in a box. So, Michael, sorry about that. I don't normally go off on tangents, but
No, never.
Never.
So anyway, getting back to
what have you been working on, Michael? Oh, the chess set.
No.
The chess set.
I'll get started on those dark pieces tonight, Michael. We'll collaborate in the morning.
Yeah, Bob, I know you don't spend a lot of time on Facebook anymore, but I do have to say that I probably made the best meme I have ever made in my life because of Rebecca's chess set.
Oh my God.
Michael, I have not seen the meme. Is there any? You know what? I'm going to grab my phone right now. You two carry on. I'm just going to go over here on the side.
I was going to ask Rebecca to describe it to you.
Oh, you want me to wait?
I
tell you what, Rebecca, go ahead and describe that to me, and then I'll look it up when you're done.
Well, how would you describe the first scene? The blonde lady who's freaking out, crying, yelling at a person. What did you say? I don't remember what it said.
It said, "Those are finials."
It was a Karen. It was a Karen meme.
It wasn't Karen. It was something else. And then the cat who's just sitting there eating his salad. What'd you say? Checkmate?
Yeah.
Like a jerk.
Was that on Lost River Pins or under Mike DeWalter?
That would have been under me.
Okay. I'm trying to look it up right now.
But it was on her feed.
Speaking of chess.
So Rebecca.
I started watching Queen's Gambit, and it's so good. It's so good. And not because of my finials, just because it looked really cool, and I've been wanting to watch it, and my murder podcast recommended it, and I was like, okay, they think it's good, it's probably good. So I watched it. It's so good. I'm like almost to the last episode.
What was the murder weapon? A finial?
It will be.
Or chess piece.
Side note, Rebecca, I started to look up Mike DeWalter first on Facebook, and it said friend. And when I looked at it at first, I thought it said fiend, so which kind of played into the whole meme thing. So I just thought I would throw that out. That's sense. Funny. Oh, speaking of fiend, how did Halloween go for everyone? Trick or treating, huh? I guess we already passed that the last episode, but did you guys have any kids come to your house?
No, we didn't do anything.
No.
Well, because of COVID this year, my wife and daughter are both high risk. Well, technically, I'm high risk too, but we didn't want to take a chance on getting it in the house.
So you didn't want to make like a candy cannon and just shoot the kids that are walking by?
Oh, I wanted to. Damn kids. Get off my lawn.
Matt Dayton, the guy who set up the Woodturners Worldwide Online Symposium, he made a cannon. And it like blew the head off of the thing. Oh my god, it was so funny. I think it was Matt. Now I need to look that up too. Well, shoot. Or like one of the candy shoots. Like people have been making those so that they just kind of shoot off of their step into the basket. Those are cute.
If you can dodge the candy, you can dodge a ball.
No, we didn't have anybody either. So, I got really ticked off because my wife bought full-size candy bars this year because she thought, you know what, we won't get a lot of kids. And she put them out on the front porch. And I think 2 or 3 of the neighbors came by and picked them up. So there were a bunch of candy bars left, right? And I came home, and I was in Louisville with my dad, so I came home the next day. And she said, there's candy bars. I set them in the fridge, so if you want a candy bar, have one. Okay, great. I wasn't hungry for a candy bar. A couple days later, I got to thinking, candy bar would be awful good right about now. My kids ate every dang one of them. Every one of them. I don't know how many candy bars were in there. And they didn't even leave one for me. No Twix, no Milky Way, nothing.
That's okay. You can eat the candy out of their stocking.
Yeah, you bet I will. Wait till Easter. I'll really pay them back.
Oh. Serve up rabbit for dinner.
Hassenpfeffer.
So I'm trying to find this video.
Shh, be very, very quiet.
And it looks like somebody may have watched one of my recent videos.
Oh, who is that?
Because those gnomes are back to back with those.
I'll be darned.
Penguins.
I saw somebody who was setting up, they said doing gnomes, and they had like the 3 pieces of wood glued together, and it was chucked up on their lathe, but I never saw a follow-up from that. I bet it's the same person. It might have been on Instagram I saw that.
Were there beards on those gnomes?
The second set, yes.
Ah.
Here. It's another set.
There they are.
Those are quite similar to my gnomes.
RebeccaDeGroot developed the gnome. No one else is allowed to do those, so everybody please back off. We're going to have a trademark lawyer in next week to talk about
and it is
these
somebody
type of
that
things.
follows me.
Oh my God!
If
I had a nickel, I honestly consider it an honor when someone copies one of my projects, because if I had a nickel for every time somebody sent me a photo or somebody posted, something that they had seen on my channel, I'd be a rich man. But I really, imitation is a serious form of flattery, and I actually enjoy when people attempt the things that I do.
Even without credit?
A lot of them go without credit. I've seen a lot of people referencing chaos pins, and I'm not saying I'm the only one to ever say that, but that is kind of something that, I think I kind of coined a little bit, and I've seen a lot of them done the exact same way, no credit. And I generally don't. Sometimes what I do, I don't ever say anything. I never say, dude, but what I'll do sometimes say, oh, that's, I'll comment on it. Hey, that's a really nice pin. Just something like that. That's really nice.
Like, that looks familiar.
I never hear back from them.
No. Well, I have that issue on Instagram. People are always stealing my actual photo of my piece. And they're these, like...
Now that's going too far.
I don't know that they're bot accounts, but they're those accounts they'll post pictures of everybody else's work without any credit, but they'll be like, check out this incredible piece of work, and they'll tag all their stuff, and then they'll be like, to see more, go to wherever, and it's like, that's my table. That's not yours. You're not going to see more of those.
Yeah, that's taking it too
mine.
far.
Like, I did that in college. Like, the person who took the photo is still working there. We can all vouch for this. And almost every time, like, somebody will be like, hey, Rebecca, I found this thing. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yep. They used to do that with videos all the time, but since YouTube changed their policies, they can't do that anymore. Not as easily as they used to. So it's actually helped, I think, with that. But I mean, it would be nice to have a shout out, but maybe they didn't see my version of it. Maybe I did it and then someone else did it, and they credited me, and then somebody saw theirs and did it. So, I don't know. I don't own it, so let it go. Who we got? Oh my gosh.
I found the video.
That's pretty awesome. I wish you guys could have seen that. Rebecca will probably put a link to that in the show notes, but
if I can figure out how.
Oh, that was funny.
But his Matthew Dayton.
Matthew
I think is
Dayton.
how you say his last name. He made a candy cannon for the trick-or-treaters, and it just blew the head off of this cardboard box child.
Shooting Tootsie Rolls, man. Those are like 40 caliber, right? Tootsie Rolls, I mean, they're big, right?
Yeah.
357, something like that. 357, 358, whatever it takes, right?
So
you wiring this up with 220? Yeah, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Michael Keaton, yeah. Great actor. Do you know his real name isn't Michael Keaton? His real name is Michael Douglas. And when I guess with the Actors Guild, when he signed up, they asked him if he wanted to use his name. And he said no, he didn't want to use it, I guess because there was already a Michael Douglas who was a very popular, famous actor. So he went with Michael Keaton. It's a true story. I read it somewhere. I mean, I wrote it down and then I read it, but I did read it. But I believe that's true. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep the podcast on track now. Straighten up, you two.
Yeah. Sorry. It's all me.
Everybody might want to keep an eye on our Instagram feed, because I think there's going to be an application posted soon for our show host.
Ooh. Gee, I wonder which one of us is getting booted.
So I was going to piggyback off of your intellectual property issues.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't pose the question of, have you ever gotten to the end of a project and all of a sudden realized, oh my God, I copied somebody else? And you weren't consciously doing it, but you realize at the end that you did?
Yes. Most definitely.
I think so.
Care to expand upon that?
I'm trying to think of how I might have, but I think it's happened before.
I remember you saying something once about a Saturn bowl.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, so Jason Clark. Oh, we need to change the spelling of his name in the show notes. I typed it wrong. It's CLARK without another E, or without an E. He does these Saturn bowls, and they have a little baby bowl in the middle, and then like the upper rim is really, really wide, very thin, and then he ends up parting the rim apart from itself so that there are kind of concentric rings that spin within the other rings. I don't know how to explain that, but the different rings actually spin independently from each other, but they all stay connected to each other, and they are usually offset, so like you can spin the middle bowl and it'll actually spin sort of around in a circle, and then you can spin sort of the secondary piece and it'll kind of move everything that's within it. It's really cool. And I ended up making a little bowl, and then just kind of went off and took off way too much material and just kind of started playing with it. And I ended up making a very similar design, but without the spinning parts and without really intending on having that similar of a design. And then I posted it because I was like, this thing looks awesome. And then he comments on it. He's like, that looks really familiar. And I was like, oh, crap.
Busted.
Not even thinking about it. And, I've seen his pieces. Like, he sent me pictures of his stuff in progress, and like, I love his work. It's incredible. I've seen it at shows. It's amazing work. I should have thought to credit him, but like, my mind was just in a completely other place, and I wasn't thinking about him or his designs at all while making the piece. I just kind of went with the material and what I thought would look best, and it just happened to be really similar without being like a copy of it. Just very, very similar in form. But, I mean, it's been done before, and by many other artists. It's just that it did end up looking so similar to his as a final product. But,
was there any discussion with him after that, or did you just kind of drop it and
run
away?
He was fine. He was like, yeah, I was just messing with you. And like, after mentioning him on the podcast, he's like, yeah, so by the way, there's no E in my last name. I was like, oh, sorry. About that too.
If we ever have him on, that needs to be a question you ask. Which bothered him more, you knocking off his Saturn bowl without credit, or you spelling his last name wrong? That really needs to be a legitimate question that he gets asked.
No. Yeah.
I've done the same.
What about
I've
you
done
guys?
something similar. Mike Peace. I don't know if you guys know Mike Peace. He's another turner.
Oh yeah, he just did.
And go ahead.
He just did a gnome video based on my gnome and Nick Zamedi's gnome, which I'll tell you about in a second. There was another issue with that. Go on. I'm excited. I like Mike Peace. He's nice.
Well, it's kind of funny because Mike. Now this is kind of weird. It's where you. It's kind of that gray area where you don't realize what you've done. But Mike Peace did a video on turning an angel ornament, and this has been 3-4 years ago. I don't know how long ago. And I saw a photo on Facebook, and I don't know if Mike Peace, if it was posted by him or posted by someone else, but I saw a photo of this turned angel. So I go out and I turn the dang thing, and I even do a video on it, right? And then Mike contacts me. But he was super cool about it. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah. He's like, oh, it's all right. It's all right. We talked a little bit, and then he gave me some tips on how I could do it a little bit easier, a little bit better. He was really cool about it, but I totally ripped the dude off from a photo that I saw on Facebook or Instagram or wherever I saw it. And I felt kind of bad, but then he was, like I said, Mike was super cool about it, and I think I even went back and credited him in the video that it was, his, I got the idea from him because essentially he's the only other person I'd seen that had done it at that point. So, but it happens. I try to credit people if I snag an idea from them, or if I use if I use their product, even in one of my videos, I try to credit them, just to be a decent guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we know the truth.
Sometimes the search terms that you use just don't match up with the video that you're trying to find or the object that you're trying to find. Like, you could search all day for gnomes last year and you'd only find like a couple of them and none of them looked like mine. Okay, this is what I was getting to. So I had been making gnomes since like early
third
this
grade
season, like right about now. Last year I've been making those gnomes, but I'd been making them for a while. I just hadn't posted any pictures of them, right? So I'm searching the internet, scouring YouTube, and nobody had made a gnome like mine that posted a video. So I make a video, and this is like rare for me then and now. So I'm making these videos. I make an awesome video. I do all the final edits. It looks great. And then I'm stupid and I wait until like the prime posting time. I need to stop doing that because I waited from like, what was it, Saturday evening when I finished the video until like Wednesday midday because it's like prime posting time, or at least the internet said it was. And Nick Zametti posted a video on Sunday of his gnome. And I'm like, no. But then I posted it because it was just timed to post on Wednesday, right? And then as soon as it goes out, everybody's like, oh, you just ripped off Nick Zametti. Like, this is his. Like, you didn't give him any credit at all. I was like, what? So then I go back on the internet and like first search, like wood-turned gnome, and his pops up. I was like, this was not here before. So it just happened that like we posted our pieces like 2 days apart. Mine was finished before his posted. I just didn't do it. So now I'm like, if that ever happens again, I am not waiting. Like, that's a terrible idea. If it goes out, it's going to go out. I don't care if it's at midnight or 3 a.m. It's going to go out. People are going to see it. If they like it, they'll share it, do whatever. That was bad. And then I reached out to Nick and I'm like, okay, I hope you don't think I copied you. Like, because everybody's saying I copied you. But like, we follow each other on Instagram, I think, and on Facebook. And I had been posting the gnomes since like early November last year. And so it was like, you can see that like a couple months ago I posted pictures of these. So you know that I didn't copy you, right? Because the design was so similar and he didn't say anything about mine.
Maybe Nick copied you.
Maybe he did. Maybe.
Let's start a rumor.
I think we just did.
It's the nature of what we do, though. We're bad magicians because we give away all the secrets to how the trick is done, and that's why people watch, is to learn how to do it. So naturally, they want to copy, and and my wife has said many times, "Why do you tell everybody how to do everything? Why don't you kind of hold some of that back?" And it's like, well, you just kind of get to a point where you don't really care, and you have to realize it's going to be copied. And there are a couple of things that I've held back. I haven't done videos on, but for the most part, I'm giving away the keys to the candy store, and
and I mean, like, unless. Well, like in my case, I get paid to go and do demonstrations. So me giving out all of the details of what a demonstration would be, that would not be beneficial to me. But I can give little tips and I can give like sped up versions. Like, I don't mind putting out a finial demo because, I mean, there's a couple finial demos out already. It's not like I'm sharing information that doesn't already exist and it's not already shared. It's just my own version of it. And then people still pay to get the finial demo. So it's fine. And maybe they don't watch me on YouTube, so they probably haven't seen it. Or maybe they like that interaction of me in person or with an interactive remote demo, actually explaining the process, being able to stop what I'm doing, showing them the process again. And, it's fine. But like the walking mushroom video, the 1 hour video that I have, and the other 1 hour videos that I have, or hour and a half, like some of them, like I probably won't just post those because those go into far more detail than a regular YouTube video would.
Yeah, and they're worth more to you too, because you can actually use those for club demos and get paid a decent little amount of money. Whereas if you were to put them out on YouTube, I mean, you people think you get rich on YouTube and make a ton of money, but you're not PewDiePie, right? You don't have 15 million gazillion followers. You look back and you think, dang, man, I made $43 on that video this year. I put hours into making that. And it's kind of like you get to a point where, is it really worth making those videos? If for me, the friendships that I've made, has been worth it. But you don't get paid for your time. Your time is so much more valuable than that. But I've made some great friendships, and I've met a few stalkers, Michael, and it's been nice.
Yeah.
So. Actually, I would never have met Michael if it wouldn't have been for that. So we've actually become pretty good friends.
I told you last night I was sorry right before you went to bed. Again.
I know. I was shutting the window and pulling down the blind, and he had his knuckles and his I'm sorry, Bob.
Sorry.
All right, Michael, it's okay. Just leave. Slam. And golly, it's insane.
You broke one of my nails when you did that.
Well, trim them suckers, man.
How else am I supposed to collect your DNA?
I know, it's like if I don't have a screen on my window, so if I don't shut the window, Michael reaches in, he scratches my back while I'm sleeping.
I'm this close to cloning my own Bob Blanford.
Oh my God, I would not recommend that. The world does not need that. One is too many. Oh, Lord. So we've talked about what we've done in the shop. What's next?
Actually, I didn't talk about what I was doing in the shop.
Oh, that's right, Michael.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Well, it's time for dad jokes. We just don't have time for that. So, Rebecca, you want to go ahead with your first dad joke, and we'll get this show on the road?
Good night, everybody.
Michael, what have you been doing?
I haven't been doing a damn thing. No.
And that's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I made a votive holder out of ambrosia maple that wasn't really quite ambrosiaed, I guess you would call it. There was not much of the markings in this piece for it to be called ambrosia. So it was pretty plain looking. And I'd always wanted to do some texturing on it and make part of it look like it had been broken off to reveal an inner core that's actually made out of metal. Ooh. So I had done the broken out part with my Dremel, but it took forever. So I set that to the side until sometime in the future that I would get a better carver. I have that better carver now.
Nice.
So I started doing some texturing on it today. So now it looks... Originally, I was going to try and go for like a hammered metal look, but it's more of a porous lava stone look now. But I'm still going to paint it with reactive paints. So I think I'm going to put bronze on the outside and patina it. And then copper is going to be the inner core, but I'm not going to put the patina on it.
Mm-hmm. The Molten Votive Collection by Mike DeLalto.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I just got to come up with a name for it.
You know, if you really want to be creative and do something different, you should put legs on it. Nobody's doing that, right?
That's an original idea there, Bob.
Thanks, man. And yeah.
So funny.
And stick a couple chess pieces on it, to really make it look neat, Maybe it could be a chess piece holder.
That's why I keep you around. You're such a good idea, man.
I am an idea man.
I'm surprised we're not getting the stink out yet.
There it is. There it is. Oh, man.
Damn.
I saw the laser beams.
How does Henry make it through that and not die?
I don't know.
He doesn't call her finials chess pieces. That's why.
Well, I'd just like to mention that, in case you didn't notice, we're having issues coming up with episode content.
Mm-hmm. I actually have a question for you, Michael. When you were working on your votive holder and you were doing the texturing, did you by any chance use your saber-tooth tools?
I don't have saber-tooth tools yet.
What?
Oh. Ouch, man. What you talk about a segue and you just...
I know. I blew it.
Just sack of potatoes, dropped it.
You killed it.
That was $1 million sales option there. We could have... Yeah.
Now, currently, I just have some cheap tungsten carbide, and probably does nowhere near as good of a job as Sabertooth superior cutting tools could.
And where might our audience be able to find these Sabertooth cutting burrs?
That would be at sabertooth.com.
Ooh, I'll have to go check it out.
I know. And don't forget to use the discount code of YMT to receive 10% off your entire purchase.
Ooh, what a great deal. And just in time for the holiday season, for all of your carving friends and family.
Yeah, remember that. I'm starting out as a carver, so, you might want to hook me up.
I'm thinking Sabertooth burrs would make great stocking stuffers.
There you go.
For the wood carver in your life.
I just imagine somebody diving their hand into their stocking.
Leave them in the plastic, Rebecca. You don't take them out of the plastic and put them in there.
What's the fun in that?
What the hell? Something bit me.
Oh, you know what, Rebecca? I've got a great idea for you. You know how you've been doing, you've been making things out of the polymer clay and then you've been casting them? You need to build like a little gnome or some angry little guy and use a saber-tooth bit as a maul. And he could have his bit back ready to go.
Yes.
See? It could be a bit holder. That would be sweet.
So I could just have a series of little characters that are holding... Oh my god, it could be
chess
an epic
pieces.
Battle.
Chess pieces.
No!
You could make...
No!
It would be like the Battle of Evermore.
You guys are jerks.
I know. That's what makes us special.
Epic ballads will be sung about your chess pieces.
Yeah. That's what, and you need some Zeppelin music in the background, And to the land of the ice and snow. Really blow it up, yeah. I think I sang on last week's show. That's the second time I've sang. You guys didn't know I had such a great singing voice, did you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
we still don't.
So if you want to sing some more, I have a line for you.
Yeah, I'm not really into singing.
No, yeah, you are. You just didn't know it until I'm going to tell you one of the first dad jokes. Are we ready for them?
I'm ready.
Sure.
Okay. So irritated with my neighbor today. He kept playing Lionel Richie songs at full blast. Normally I wouldn't mind, but it was all night long.
All night long.
Now's your opportunity.
Boo. Crickets chirping. Michael, insert crickets chirping right here. Please.
And done.
Okay. I've got a dad joke for you, Rebecca and Michael and everyone else out there in You Made That Land.
Just be prepared for the crickets.
Hey, I have a friend who composes songs about sewing machines. He's a Singer Songwriter, or so it seems. Get it? Singer, songwriter, or so it seems. See, Michael, sewing machine. Michael, hello. I think he's trying to hold back his laugh because he loved that joke.
Exactly.
I'm holding it back.
I can
holding it back.
I can hear him right now. Hang on, I got to go on mute a second, guys. Dasher, you got to hear this one.
Wait, no, you've got him in stitches.
No.
Yes, that is it. Mic drop. Boom.
Oh wait, oh brother.
Hey, now cut that out.
It's fun to pick on somebody else, isn't it, Rebecca?
It is.
Oh.
All right, which one am I?
Our dad jokes are only funny because we're making them funny. They're not really funny. I hate to tell you that. Michael, you're up, brother. What do you got for us?
I'm up.
Go ahead, Michael.
A woman is at her deceased husband's funeral. A man comes up to her and asks, "Do you mind if I say a word?" "No, please go ahead," she replied. The man stands up, clears his throat, and says, "Plethora." "Thanks," the woman says. "That means a lot."
That means a lot.
That does mean a lot.
That does mean a lot.
I'm in tears. I'm in stitches.
Then I got one more.
Okay.
Oh.
What do you call an angry acid?
What?
Amino acid.
That's funny.
That was,
Badumcha.
Oh, I have another one too.
Okay.
Imagine if Americans switched from pounds to kilograms overnight. There would be mass confusion.
Oh my God. I do have one for you. This might be kind of along the lines of a good teacher joke. See, years ago, when my son was much younger, he was about 5 years old. He came up to me and he said, "Hey, Dad, do trees poop?" And I said, "Of course they do, son. Where do you think number 2 pencils come from?" Okay, sorry.
And on that note.
Oh my God.
Rebecca, why don't you tell where everybody can find you on the interwebs and where they can see pictures of your chess set?
Rebecca DeGroot on Facebook and YouTube. Rebecca_DeGroot on Instagram, where you can find my finials.
Chess set.
Where can we find those
And my
gnomes that you
ornament.
copied off Nick Zametti? That's what I really want to see.
Oh, well, you can find those on my regular YouTube channel, and you can find maybe just a couple of the other videos that I have done since I started, but not very many, on Rebecca's Up to Something on YouTube. What?
Just keeping track of
Just
how many
keep
you
track.
have.
That's 4.
Okay. Well, now I'm distracted and I lost track. Let's start over.
Oh my God,
Just
no,
kidding.
no. The show is only supposed to be an hour long.
And then RebeccaDeGrootStudio on Redbubble and Etsy. And my Etsy's back up and running again. For whatever reason, it stopped working. But on Etsy, there's no spaces. On Redbubble, there is.
I think it was copyright infringement for those gnomes.
Whatever. And I did just add a new thing on Redbubble yesterday. I added my my sushi chef Ebenezer, my octopus with the knives, onto Redbubble, so you can buy Redbubble like t-shirts and cups and a hat. You can even buy face masks now with the octopus right on the front or side of the face mask.
Ooh.
And then RebeccaDeGroot.com, which is still broken. So, good luck.
Maybe there's a space in your password.
Nuh-uh. I doubt it. Could be, though.
Could be.
Yeah.
Is your, what was it, judgmental alpaca still available?
Yeah, my judging alpaca.
Okay.
He's still there. He's actually the top seller.
Nice.
Great. I don't know why. Everybody loves it. I think everybody just needs to judge every once in a while.
Everybody needs a little more alpaca, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like everybody needs more cowbell. It's
Cowbell, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bob, I know you haven't been active, but where can people find your reruns?
Well, if it's still available, I don't know. They may have shut me down for lack of activity, but you can find me on YouTube and Instagram at RJBWoodTurner. And if you like shop vlogs, I do an occasional shop vlog on WhatchaDoinBob over on YouTube.
And trust me, I've been less active than you for a long time. They don't shut you down.
Yeah. We'll be back.
I might be going on 2 years. I don't know.
I won't be that much longer. I really just need to restructure my channel so that I can get back into it. And I want to sit down and put some stuff on paper. But it just hasn't happened yet. And by the way, Michael, I just interrupted you from telling where people can find you. So if you'd like to go ahead and tell us where we can find Mike DeWalter, I'd be happy to listen. Or not.
Lost River Pens at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
That's
and
amazing.
my website, www.lostriverpens.com.
Michael, it's amazing how you simply have one moniker and all of your social media uses that same moniker. I can respect that. Some people just have like 50 different
planned.
things. I know. And you can never find them because it's like, well, what are they on this platform? And it's like, I don't know. Man.
RebeccaDeGroot apparently is just really common.
There must be 10 or 12 of them out there, yeah.
We're going to give her a complex.
I know. Well,
she already has 7 split personalities. So
it's like going to dinner with your family every Sunday when she gets together with us to do this podcast, because it's like her 2 big brothers and we just pick on her, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's a family time. We call this family time.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that when I meet her in person, I'm going to get smacked right in the middle of my forehead.
I'm going to have 2 black eyes. I can tell right now. Yeah, I'll be walking around with 2 black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys make me seem so violent.
Well, we saw those pointy chess pieces you made, so we have we get a little nervous.
I do threaten to stab people with my pokey things.
Yep.
I guess that might be an indicator of my personality.
So to those of you who are listening still, if there's a topic you'd like us to discuss on the show, let us know. Send us an email at makers@ymtpodcast.com, and all 3 of us will get that and be able to decide if we'd like to use that subject or not.
I would love it.
Always open to any ideas you may have. If there's somebody you'd like us to reach out to for an interview, let us know.
Yeah. Yes.
We have a few people on our dream list. Like I'd love to have Bobby Duke on here. I'm sure the other hosts have people in mind. Mm-hmm. They just don't bring them up to me anymore.
Ron Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I still want to have Heath Knuckles on too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hey, let's have Nick Zmetti on. Have him talk about gnomes.
We'll have a gnome battle.
A gnome off.
It'll be epic.
Yeah, you guys could each turn one live. We'll call it the gnome off. 2021 gnome off.
Yes.
We all, if we don't come up with a topic, it's just going to keep getting worse. We're going to just keep getting more and more derailed, and we might even like play a live game of Trivial Pursuit sometime, just for the heck of it, just to irritate you guys.
Woodturner's edition.
Woodturner's edition, doesn't matter. Rock and roll edition. I love them all.
Yeah. Hey, I could break out my books of useless information and read you a couple dumb facts every day.
That would be awesome. I want you guys to know, remember we talked a show or 2 ago about what you could do to like make holidays like Thanksgiving more engaging so people just don't show up, eat, and leave. I went and I told my wife, I want you we're going to have a small Thanksgiving. Our son is coming in and our daughter and their families are coming in. And I said, tell them each they're to bring 1 game. No Monopoly, Risk, nothing like that. It needs to be something bizarre. And tell them...
Red flags.
When they buy the game, they need to let everybody know which one they bought so 2 people don't show up with the same game. And, I think I'm looking for a copy of Crabs Adjust Humidity if I can find it. But but my kids loved the idea. Now, I don't know how the older kids took it. But hopefully, because I haven't talked to my wife about that yet, but she was going to let them know, and we're supposed to hit. My kids are going to go hit the store one day this week and try to find some type of a bizarre game that we can play to make Thanksgiving just a little more fun. That way, you have the meal, but then you have the family time, and you make some memories and laughing at each other, and which is kind of what we do on this show. We laugh at each other,
Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, I've heard of that game, but I've never seen it.
That's a good one.
Exploding Kittens.
I think you can buy it at Target.
But speaking of exploding kittens, I'm on a tangent. I did watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation the other day.
Yeah, there is an exploding cat in that.
Exactly. So
On that note, this has been tangents and train wrecks for real this time.
I got to get some more friends so I can get some of these tangents out by talking to normal people.
There you go.
Who wants to mess with normal people?
I'm spending too much time alone.
Well, everybody have a great week, and
Thank you.
Hopefully we will have a topic next time we meet.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not.
Or not.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
We'll just make something on the fly.
You know, guys, real quick, you made that. What's the email address?
For
Makers
all three of us?
at ymt.com.
YMTpodcast.com.
Makers at YMT. Guys, send your topics in to makers at yMTpodcast.com. No. Is that right? I don't know. Just whatever Michael said. Send us ideas for the show, but also let us know, do you enjoy when it's just like sitting around with three old friends and just chatting when we just kind of go off on tangents. I really enjoy just chatting, and you can probably tell that because I draw the most tangents, but let us know what you think of that. Do you think it's something we should get away from because I can stop doing it, or whatever, but I'd like to know what people think about the show, and it's just we're trying to have some fun, a few laughs, lighten your day up a little bit, give you something enjoyable to listen to in the shop. Hopefully you get a belly chuckle every now and then out of it, and but let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Rebecca's laughing at me. I don't know what I said that was so funny.
You said you could stop doing tangents. I think that's hilarious.
Oh, you're going to call me on that, are you?
I don't believe you.
My feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Okay, sure.
Well, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Feedback, guys. We need feedback. Engage us.
Yeah.
I'm already married. Oh, come on. That was funny.
Huh. For Dasha, maybe. Oh, boy. Okay.
You can also send your resumes to makers at YMTpodcast.com.
They're booting me off the podcast, guys. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
She can't breathe again.
They don't want to be my friend. I feel like Eeyore. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me.
Everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.